Tonight we have on the show the MAD MUSE performing artist Lori Howsare. Welcome to the show, Lori.
Thank you.
You strike me as a woman who is very in tune with the universe. Is that, would you say that's accurate?
At least some aspect of it.
Yeah, okay. Accent on the aspect.
Right. Exactly.
So, we talked earlier about how you would define, what you do, and performing artist is the term that you came up with, but a lot of things fall under that. So, who is the MAD MUSE?
The MAD MUSE is a persona that I perform under, that I developed, that I like to use classical theater and classical literature to start off with, and then I layer that with my own poetry. And my own poetry I'll call mad poetry because it doesn't follow a literary form. It's more like an explosion of emotion. I'm an emotional stripper. How's that?
Yeah, I love that.
I'm an emotional stripper. Right, good, yes, you can.
Oh, no, that's great. I hear theme music and everything.
Right.
That in itself is poetry, that definition. Very nice. And you have some really interesting projects coming up that I think may give a little clearer picture of the kind of work that you do. A literary brothel?
Yes.
What on earth is that?
Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to have an audience come into a house, and on the upper floors we will have literary whores. And they will come downstairs and they will whore out their wares and their stories and get you to come up into the room, and then they will proceed to tell you a Grand Guignol story. We're trying to bring attention to Grand Guignol theater again. And so there are different rooms, and then eventually the groups get back together and they go up into the attic where we have a serial killer, and she's a true story from Glitzen, Pennsylvania. Her name is Stella Williamson, and I have a show that I'll be performing about her and why she killed her 5 infants and put them in a trunk, and nobody ever knew about them.
I'm sure there is a story there.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
in fact, if I had been taught algebra in this manner, I think I would have done a lot better. I mean, there's something to that. Even the classics, like, when we had to read Catcher in the Rye in high school. If it had been presented to me in this manner, I think I might have enjoyed that a little bit more.
See, that's it, and literature is fun. Classical theater is still fun and viable, and we don't give it the attention anymore because we think it's boring, or the language you can't get
past
past
it. Or it's dusty and it doesn't change, and it doesn't. So then, how do you keep that relevant and reinvent that? And I think a literary brothel certainly does the trick. March 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Yes.
And we'll attach, the information here at the end of our segment as far as where we can get tickets and more information. And then in May, you are bringing back and I love this title, the Atrocity Exhibition.
It is Morose and Macabre. They have
I
been
should hope so.
Yes, no, Morose and Macabre are actual people. It's Dr. Morose.
Okay, pardon my blooper.
Right, Dr. Morose and Macabre Noir put together what they call a 360 installation art originally, and they started to put together this show. 2 years ago, actually 4 or 5 years ago, I jumped in and became a stage manager. And then 2 years ago, we won Best Production. We invite artists from all over the country. We have Vinsantos who does dark, themed drag. From New Orleans, we have a performance artist from Detroit, Satori Circus. He comes in, and we mush all these artists. We have local artists as well. We mush all these artists together into one story. And for the past 2 years, they've picked a literary theme. Last year was Alice in Wonderland. It was called Jabberwocky. And then this year we're going to do Dante's Divine Comedy. We're essentially going to put together a living installation to take you to hell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, so if you thought you were having a bad day.
Right. We're going to show you a bad day.
You ain't seen nothing yet. But that puts things in perspective, It's like, you thought you thought your day at work was bad. Well, come on down here and see how much worse it could be, I guess.
Right. Or where you're going.
Oh, well, we all have to aspire to something, right?
Right.
But this exhibition, I think, was voted it won some award from the city paper,
It
didn't it?
was voted Best Production in Pittsburgh for 2015 for The Witch Show and 2016 for The Jabberwocky.
Well, that's no small feat.
Yeah,
So we'll
we're
see.
excited, and it's very DIY. We don't receive grants, unfortunately, but we are not
But
granted.
if people
It's
want to
just
throw
our
money
own
at you,
thing.
you'll accept
We'll
it,
take
right?
your
Okay,
money.
but
Yeah.
we'll make a note of that in the fine print here. And this is going to be at the Rex Theater May 12th and 13th.
Yes.
So we've got plenty of time to plan for that, both the Atrocity Exhibition and the Literary Brothel in March.